So I was going to do a video on Onimai because it literally just finished yesterday, but then I saw this article and I was like, Onimai will have to wait. It'll have to wait. Probably do it Monday or Tuesday or something. But because when I saw this article, I was like, and when I first read the article, well, the title of it, it's like one of those things that's happening in California where they're segregating people in a way, but putting on a smile for it. But no, this one made a lot of sense. And when I looked at it, I was like, wow, this this really hit home for me. This really hit home for me when I saw this article and stuff. And I may have my disagreements, a lot of disagreements of Anime News Network, a lot. I call them the CNN of the anime community, but just like CNN, they can post some good stuff too, every now and then. So I can't just say, oh, they're just bad 24/7. Every take they have is bad. That's not the truth. This one right here, I'm glad they brought to my attention because I knew nothing about this. And it's kind of a shame too because I think something like this should be spread around for more and more people to hear about. And of course, you know by the title already what I'm talking about. It's pretty much the North Carolina Agriculture and Technical State University will host a convention this Saturday specifically for Black anime fans. However, anyone else can come in. Anime Aggie's convention is organized by the student club by the same name. You do not need to be a member of the club to participate in the convention, although you must purchase tickets in advance online, which will cost $5. So pretty much the club was founded in 2021, to celebrate the fandom. Anyways, our in our community, the Black community, liking anime is kind of frowned upon. So I wanted to open a gateway and say you can like what you like and start a community to make friendship, open up the convention, she said. I recall the high school I was told that anime was weird and too white hobby. In spite of previous stigma, there are a number of prominent black celebrities who are vocal their love for anime, including actors, Michael B. Jordan, NFL players, and stuff, and so on and so on. But however, there are plenty of others who also like anime, but they just can't admit it. And the reason why they say, listen here, they say it's too weird or it's too white. A Japanese show made in Japan is too white. This really hit home for me. It really did. Because this is what it felt like growing up. I've been seeing the news how everyone's blaming white people for everything, or why the lot in life for black people right now. And tell you the truth, living inside the black community, the way I act, the way I am, was not good for me. If I went to an all black school, I would always cross my fingers and sometimes I'll regret it because I just couldn't stand it. It was terrible. I remember I was reading books like Rave Master or Dragon Knights or Fruits Baskets, and people would always try to start some with me. I'll start something back, but I knew it wasn't good for me. Having these reports going back home, it was so annoying. My God, this is something that a lot of people don't know, that how sometimes the black community suppresses itself a lot. Because if anyone talks about race more than anybody in this race, is the black community. A lot of people don't want to admit it, or they can't admit it, even if they know it, because they get received so much backlash by the media and giant influencers who just don't want to open up, or they just want to push a narrative. I know I'm sounding political only because it feels personal to me growing up. You do not believe how many times that I was called white or not black because of the way I acted, because I wanted to have good grades, because I wanted to pay attention, because I was acting with well-mannered behavior, even though I was learning most of my behavior from how the Japanese people act with manners and stuff like that. But they all considered it was white. So anything that was well behaved or good was considered white, even though other cultures do it. For some reason, when a black person do it, it has to be white. It's like in the black community, that's all they see is white and black, nothing else. They don't see Hispanic, they don't see Indian, they don't see Native American. they don't see nothing but white and black. So if you don't act the way that the entire masses do in the community, you are automatically white. And I know this, I don't know how long this video is going to be, but I'm just saying that the convention, I'm glad it's happening, because it's too many times that a black community who want to be part of this nerdom, of this geekdom, can't be a part of it or have to be in secret because anyone outside them will find out. They would most of the time be bullied immensely for it. For our community, and the media always saying how we have to spread our roots and grow and broaden our horizons. Every time someone tries to do something different or think differently, they're immediately attacked for it and they say, "You're not black." I can't count the number of times I've been told I'm not black by a black community because the way I act and stuff. And it's a shame that this is the only community that does this, where we push out people that have different opinions and views and want to do different things, but yet they want to preach about broadening our horizons or opening up. You can't open up to anything if you're not willing to embrace anything. And it just felt like this. I remember when I was in class and there was one dude who was white. The way he acted was different from me. And they were like, "Oh, he's more black than you are, huh?" And it's just because he had a tattoo, he had a baby mama when we were in like ninth grade, and the way he was wearing his clothes and the way he's acting. So it was like also when I was watching Fresh Prince, Carlton, and a lot of black shows, the black guy that acted smart or was actually into fine culture or something that was just outside. They're always the laughing stock, the thing that everyone made fun of, the thing that like they were telling you not to be, even though he was the one closest to success, but in a different way. It was not okay to be that guy. It was not okay to be the nerdy black kid with glasses that always be made fun of in these sitcoms. A lot of people laughed at it. I remember when I was a kid, I laughed at it. But as I got in middle school and high school, I realized I relate to that person, to that Carlton, or any other character more than all the others. And they were always the laughing stock, as if we were suppressing that kind of thing. And the fact that Lacking Anime, which is a Japanese culture form of animation, made for Asians, made for Japanese, only comes here for making profit, was only looked at as something that only white people watch. You can be Hispanic and do what you want. You can be Asian and do what you want. You can be white, do what you want. You can be any of these races. Indian, all of them. Like rap, like rock, dress the way you want, act the way you want. And you'll still be considered white, Asian, Indian, all those things. But if you do that in the black community, you're considered not black to them. And I brought these topics up before in the past. I've already seen the amount of backlash I have gotten from it. Or I've seen others who also have done it, gotten massive backlash from it. So I know I'll probably talk about the convention. I am glad this is happening. A place where the outside, I guess you could call us the white sheep. Calling us the black sheep is too weird. Call us the white sheep in the black community, in a way. Those who want to do better. Those who just want to be us without being discriminated by our own kind and stuff. I started looking at this and like, oh my god, I wish we had anime clubs in my high school, and there were other black people like that. But you know the same, they acted like me, so they were also ousted as well. And the ones who did watch anime was many of the mainline shonens that you see on Toonami, Dragon Ball Z, Bleach, Naruto, even Pokemon and stuff like that. But they didn't really watch anything else outside of that. That's all they knew. That's all they were. Or when we will go to an anime club made by our county library. We had all the libraries. We go to different libraries and hang out and watch anime or eat snacks and stuff like that together. And when people from the black community who weren't really big anime fans would just come in, they would just have this terrible, and I mean terrible, impression on everybody. They'll be loud, inconsiderate, just take all the food, take people's seats, interrupt, start harassing people, and then they'll just leave. And then it'll force where the leader the leader of the club will just lock the door. It says, "Y'all okay with me locking this door?" And like, we just lock the door and stuff. And people may seem that's rude, it's messed up, but what else can we do? It was terrible. It was a bad experience. I was embarrassed. Uh, the people that I was with were embarrassed. That were also from that community. It wasn't good. And I am glad something like this is happening for us outsiders. It's sad in this day and age where everyone else can, progress. Progress to a new stage of American society, of a culture society, but yet the black community is still behind, and we keep blaming others for our mishaps. But in a day, maybe we need to start taking some accountability and to do better, to reach out, to see other things, to do other things, and not look down on others for doing it. You know, I'm glad something like this is happening. It's too bad it took so long for it to happen, but I'm glad it is because now so many people who feel like they were left out, they're outsiders, can come together and be a part of something without being looked down upon. You know, we have celebrities that like anime, but most of the times it's the mainstream anime. You know, it's always Dragon Z or Luffy with One Piece, and some will say Jujutsu Kaisen too, which is cool. But I want to see others, talking about Gundam or even talking about some romances ones. I know some celebrities were talking about Daria and the Franks and stuff, but I really want to see other people like other stuff in a way as well. Would be really, really nice. And I know I'm afraid of anime becoming mainstream. A lot of people are afraid of anime becoming mainstream in a way it kind of is, but because they're afraid that America will try to influence it to be something and just mess it up like they're doing with Western shows over here, just messing it up. But at the same time, by being mainstream, it'll also allow other people to feel like they're not outcasts and feel terrible about themselves and stuff like that. And it really sucks. Sometimes I said like get to me, didn't get to me, but at the same time, I did wish that it wasn't always like this. I would think, okay, I can take this, but what if the other person can't take it? The other person just don't know what to do and stuff like that in the situation. And I've seen people who couldn't take it. When you show you can't take it at these all black schools, they'll eat you like a pack of piranhas, mentally, physically, and everything, man. They will not stop. You can go with the principal teachers, nothing will happen, nothing will change. They'll try to separate you, but they'll find you. They always try to do that shit. So sometimes you just gotta stand up for yourself, and you're more likely going to lose. But if you keep doing it, they'll realize that, hey, we're gonna keep getting in trouble. We keep messing with this kid because sooner or later they're gonna have evidence on us for being in trouble, and that's what I did. I had to play it the smart way. Like, don't try to always get in a fight, but do it with a point where it keeps happening, where they'll see it and they'll have no choice but to confront it and stuff. So that way they know, like, hey, if they keep this up, they're going to be going to Gillespie Street, where they have to stay out there. Gillespie Street is the place where all the bad kids go, and they can never come back for the rest of the year and stuff. They went to that school, all the bad kids. It was like prison for students where I came from. So this happening in my states at a good university, I think is nice. Looking at this, and I know I keep repeating myself, but it's just because this means not just a lot to me, but for a lot of people. Unfortunately, I can't go. This came out of nowhere and stuff, but I hope it does get other attention as the years go on. It spreads more and more, so people will open up to themselves and talk about it. Because you will not believe how people like me and others like me had really no place to go within our community to truly express ourselves and not be looked down upon every single time because we had different views and opinions, or we like different things. Because you didn't like rap or hip hop, or you were not really into sports. I'm into like football mainly, but that's not so often like other people. Like I don't know all the players and stuff like that, but that's just me though. Other people probably don't know that. So they were again looked down upon. I remember when I was a kid. I was into Beyblade, Dragon Ball Z, Metabots, and stuff. It was during the fifth grade, and there was a group of white people I hang out with. They were into that stuff. They had the toys, the Transformers, and black kids were over there, and they were trying to influence me. Even my parents were trying to influence me to go hang out with them. So I did, and the first thing they asked me, how big is my pee-pee? How big is that? It was always sex, music, and violence all the time. Just talking crap about other people, pulling pranks, this giant, big, massive ego and narcissism. And I'm like, this is what you guys want me to be around, but yet you want me to be a good student. I just didn't understand it. Well, the other guys, we would talk about, Transformers, we would talk about Jet X for kids and stuff, and, kid stuff. G.I. Joe toys, when G.I. Joe toys were cool and stuff. The Valor versus Venom, the Spy Troops, those were the time for all I grew up with G.I. Joe. And it was fun. I had more fun with those guys. And it wasn't just the white kids. It was a group of kids there. There were some Asians. There was an Indian kid. I don't remember their names, but I do remember their faces. I do remember one was Kyle, and the other one was probably Brett. But I don't remember the rest. So I was hanging out with more crowd of diverse kids, and was able to have a more wide experience than I did with my own kind, mainly. Heck, I remember when I was doing art for honors, I was the only black kid in the class, man. The only black kid in the class. And there was supposed to be another one. I was saying kid, I was like 18. I was like the highest form of art I could get in high school where I came from. And there was another black person being there. And she walked in, she looked around, saw me, I waved, and then she like, oh, hell no. She slammed the door, and we never saw her again. It is really a shame because everyone in the class was nice. Everyone talked about everything, and everyone had the same cultural ideals, but we all got along. I was one of the oldest in the class because I was the only one besides her that had art for honors. And everyone else was 1 or 2 levels below me. So not only was I the only black guy in the class, I was also the oldest student in the class as well. Funny enough. And I was great, Some didn't knew about anime. Some did, and I knew about stuff they liked. There's one girl who liked to cook for everybody because she was good at home ec. There's one dude who was into music. He was in band, and one guy was in ROTC. He was physically fit and stuff. Always going at the gym and stuff. I would talk to him about some health advice. It was a good class. It was a great class. This is the time I was always drawing anime at that time, and my teacher was trying to get me to stop drawing always anime. She did believe that anime would be in the future be very popular, but you need to think about something that can make you a profit, or at least express your broaden your horizons. So I did, and started doing other things. And she was happy that at the end of the semester, jeez. And I was glad I took the class. It was the last art class I took in high school. Well, a lot of times in high school anyways. And I continued on in art with graphic designs and stuff. Took more art classes. And it was fun. It was great. So it was a good experience, And I'm not saying every black, but you already know that. But some people just don't understand that. You gotta open up, man. You really do. If you want things to get better, you gotta open up. You can't just be thinking narrow-minded, but then blame everybody why no one was hanging around you all the time. It just sucks. I keep seeing it over and over again. I'll sometimes try to go back into the black community pages sometimes on Facebook or Twitter, and then when I'm on there, it's constantly posting videos or pictures about things that they think that white people are doing are dumb all the time. It's like all it is race, race, race all the time. I was just sick of hearing it, And I know there's something going out there that's the problem, but it's not with everybody. The majority of the people aren't like that. They really are not. It's just that the media has really made it seem like that's the case, and it is sad that it's happening and stuff. So yeah, like I said, this same question, I know this went way beyond what is for the convention, but this meant so much to me. I'm just letting it all out. My experience as a black anime fan and how it was affected in my entire life, or how much I felt like I was not black because my own community made me feel like I was not. And I had to take, believe it or not, a white teacher from social studies to tell me that you're black no matter what. You should be proud of it and stuff. I had to take that person, no one in my own community, but that person to do it. Think about that for a second. Well, dang. So we're almost over 20 minutes, man. I wasn't expecting it to be this long, but like I said, this hit me personally, and I feel like I really wanted to tell you guys about this experience that I had, that I was going through. I don't think I'm going through it anymore, but I know others are going through it right now as we speak, and it sucks. It really does. And a lot of them just can't take it. They feel like they have nowhere else to go in life, and that's just terrible. You know, something's had to change, and I believe this is one of the things that can help change it, even if it's just a little. So, anyways, like that's just video. Tell me what you guys had to go through as anime fans, no matter what race or culture you're from. Where you guys have ever felt like you were outside casts and stuff? I know the geeks always felt that way when it comes to their stuff, Dungeons and Dragons, Star Wars, and Star Trek. And now it became mainstream. Now they're the outcast again of their own thing that they've grew up with, and it's just a damn shame what Hollywood's doing. But anyways, I'll end the video here. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, of course, hit that bell icon. This has been Madcrownxox on anime. Signing out.